welcome to another episode of the More Than Sunday podcast. I'm here with Ed.
Oh,
yes.
And out of the corner.
Yeah, I'm out of the corner, bro. I have some room to breathe, or a little bit of room to breathe. But we're here on episode 21.
21.
21. Yeah, 21. We should have had that on the...
What's 9 plus 10?
21.
21?
Yeah. We're now in America. Our podcast is legally of age to drink.
Yeah, we could go to the bar and order some, which we wouldn't.
Yeah, we wouldn't do that because we're Christians. Look, Christians shouldn't drink. Let's just be honest.
Well, normally it's drunkenness. Yeah. It says in the Bible that we shouldn't be drunk and in sound mind and all that fun stuff.
Except for rum balls. They're really nice. I really like rum balls. Anyway.
Or the tiramisu. That's really nice.
Tiramisu. That's right. The Italian.
Go down to the bottom.
So episode 21.
21.
And we should have had that sound. We are here and we have a special guest on this episode with us.
The Holy Spirit is with us.
Yes. Shabba-baba. And Pentecost is coming up, right? So, it's a while away.
That's still ages ago.
It's a while away. But, every day is Pentecost for a Pentecostal Christian. So that's awesome. So we have a special guest on today. Nothing to do with what we're talking about today. We have a special guest on today. And we're going to be going into all things Christian business. Okay, so we have a Christian business owner, right?
Oh, awesome.
And so we also have someone who has dealt with a lot of Christian businesses. Okay, for the past long time.
For the record,
long time. And we're excited to welcome her on the show for episode 20. I nearly said episode 2021. Episode 21. Welcome, Pastor Melissa O'Brien.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Welcome, Melissa.
Look at that. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Can I say a couple of things?
Yes.
10 plus 9, Ed, is not 21.
I don't know what you're talking about. It is. I don't know what you're talking. I get it. You're an accountant. You know numbers, but you're wrong.
Okay, we'll be right. We'll agree to disagree. Okay, we won't get the calculator out.
What you think is the answer to 9 plus 10? Put it in the comments.
Yeah. Put it in the comments.
Write below the like button.
Do it. And secondly, Jake, I want to hear, how long do you think I've been in business? You're going to make me feel really old to say it. Do it.
20 years.
Oh, good job.
Oh, am I right?
No, but longer. Say that. That makes me feel young.
Okay, 30 years.
No, that makes me feel okay. In the middle. Okay,
25 years. Oh, what? Oh, wow. All right. What is damn. 25 years, damn. Okay, so 25 years in business, right?
Oh my gosh.
25-ish years in business. That's a long time. Now, that's my age, by the way.
That's convenient, isn't it?
Yeah, that's convenient. Yeah,
what? That's so easy.
I wonder why she got in business. So 25 years in business. So you would know a fair bit about different things, ins and outs of business.
Seen lots of businesses.
Businesses come and go, right?
Succeed and fail. Yep.
But so 25 years in business has got to be a lot of hard work.
It is. Yeah. I'd like to say it was easy and that it was, smooth sailing and there was always highs and not many lows, but that's just not the way it is.
Yep.
Obviously, 25 years in business, like I said, if people don't know, Jake's my son. He's my eldest son. So business started because I didn't want to go back to a firm. I needed to earn income. My husband was working, Danny was working, but I needed to make income. I also wanted to keep my licenses current and all those kinds of things. So I started very, very minimal while my kids were little, but then it grew into what it is now, full-time.
Wow.
700 hours a week.
And one full-time employee now.
Yes, one full-time employee.
My little brother.
Yeah.
So it's a family business. Keep it in the family. But you've had other people employed for short periods of time as well.
Absolutely.
And so, 25 years, did that. Started from little, but pretty much started from scratch, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
There was no client base. You didn't inherit any clients. You didn't take over another business. You started from scratch. It used to be called Melissa Donnelly
Accounting Services.
Now
that's before I was married.
O'Brien Accounting Services.
Yep.
But that was all the way back then.
That muchly O'Brien Accounting.
Yeah.
Yep.
All the way back there. Now it's changed, obviously. O'Brien Accounting. So going through those changes, a lot of change, a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
But also now being, a born again Christian.
Yes.
In the marketplace, a lot of people would say it's hard. A lot of people would say it's easy.
Yeah.
Not really a lot, maybe one or two people. But it's a task.
Yeah.
Right. Be a Christian in the marketplace. A lot of the times people look at business or they look at the marketplace, and when you see like a successful business person, specifically online, right? Because that's who we're speaking to, but specifically online, you'll see like some greasy business person, maybe someone trying to sell courses on social media, right? Like, we were making a joke at the staff thing on this week. We had a staff thing where we met all together, and we were at this we were on the balcony of this hotel, and one of the boys made a joke, and they were like, he lifted their phone and was like, hey, if you want this lifestyle, he's like, you got the Gold Coast sort of skyline in the background.
Garage.
Yeah. If you want this lifestyle, buy this course. This, and we all know most of those are scams. If you don't
100%.
think they're scams, then go buy one, find out.
Yeah.
But don't buy one, don't buy one.
Don't
but
do that.
So, and you can even see Christians starting to do this now, which is wild.
We talked about it.
We did.
Ago.
The branding. Yes, the aesthetics, the branding.
Yeah, the cosmetic Christian.
Yeah. So, it's
an aesthetic. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an aesthetic, and it's a brand model now. It's a business model for some people.
Being Christian.
Yeah, even energy drinks and all that sort of stuff. No, I won't go into that. But yeah, so all these different things. But yeah, so you see that the normal person, the average person, right, like myself, who sees that. You see a successful business person, and they sort of give off the stigma that business is immoral because the way they carry on, the way they live their life, the way they do their things. They're selling courses that aren't really courses. They're just scamming basically, and all these different things. And for a lot of people, maybe even most Christians or some Christians, they might look at that and go, why would you be a business person?
Yeah.
Why would you be a business? And I'm not that person, because I know Christian business people who, we have plenty in our church. We have heaps. But for someone who deals with business people on a daily basis, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
People and you're a business person yourself, but other people, other business owners, what would you say to someone who just looks at business as some sort of slimy, immoral thing?
I think it's all about your outlook, right? And your mindset. And I think if you're going into business to make a quick buck, then you're not going to last.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be the right motive for going into business.
Yeah.
I think, especially as a Christian, as a Christian business, and I think we're going to talk about it, but as a Christian business, I have these 4 points down that you have to have in order to be not just successful, but to honor God.
Yeah.
And those 4 things are integrity.
Yes.
Which is about having integrity in your business dealings, the way you do business, what you speak, how you act, all have to align and be actually falling under God's morals and principles. Diligence, being a hard worker.
Yes.
You can't sit down on your backside and expect that the work's going to come at you or the money's going to come at you.
Yeah.
Thirdly is excellence. So everything that you do it with excellence as if you're doing it unto the Lord.
Yes.
And fourthly is stewardship. It's about stewarding the resources that you get and stewarding the money that you do get and your time, all of those things.
Yeah.
It's stewarding your business in honor of the Lord.
Yeah, that's so good.
That will bring success.
Do you know what's crazy? I mentioned that once when I worked at a warehouse for 10 weeks or whatever I did. I mentioned that in introduction, they said, what's a value that you should bring to the workplace? And I said excellence. And everyone was like,
what's excellence?
What? Excellence?
Yeah.
And it was it's like this idea only seems to, I don't want to, not flex, we're not here to say we're better.
Yeah.
But it's kind of wait, you don't want to bring excellence to your, is it really just a Christian only thing?
Yeah.
Bringing excellence. It's almost I don't want to say it's foreign to the world, but it's almost
maybe.
Shouldn't we all be doing that?
Yeah.
Or maybe it is foreign to the world, dude.
Yeah.
People just want to clock in, get the job done, clock out, go home, not worry about.
Especially in that industry. That industry, I mean, I've worked in that industry and it's it is just clock in, clock out. And I remember I hated it. I was there. I didn't know how. I was there for a year or something, maybe less.
Gosh.
And it was like the most depressing thing. But I'm not. Shout out to people who work in the warehouse. I'm not saying it's terrible. I'm just saying that a lot of time people can lack excellence because of that and have that attitude. What Ed just said, which is 100% true. But
God's word says, if He'll honor you with much if you do well with little.
Yes.
So, if you've got just a factory job, doesn't mean anything less.
Yeah.
But if you do that well and with excellence, like you said, He's going to promote you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I know people who work in the factories making way more money than me. So they're doing well for themselves.
It's not about money though, right, Jake?
No, it isn't. But I'm saying the people who say they don't make money. Yeah.
I know.
But yeah, so that's what happens when you have your mum on the podcast. She corrects you, which is good. It's good to have. So speaking of hard work.
Yes.
Because I know we're meant to ask a first question, but we've gone in a whole different direction.
I knew this would happen.
Yeah, Ed knows me too well. So hard work, right? And then we'll go back to that first question we're meant to ask. With hard work, like for me personally, being your son and dad as well, you guys are the most hardest workers I've ever met.
100%
in my life. Mm-hmm. So like I remember seeing, and that's what fuels me today. Like the reason why I work hard and the reason why I do the things for my family is because of seeing the way you guys did things for us when we were younger. But I remember seeing you staying up late at night on the computer, like falling asleep with the computer in front of you.
Still happens today, like even last night.
But you're like a really, really hard worker. Can I ask this question? Where did you get that from?
I think I definitely got that from my parents as well. My parents are hard workers as well. So I can say that's one trait that I did get from them, yes. But also even separately to that, I guess would be that whole principle of doing what you do to honour the Lord.
Do it unto the Lord,
it's seeing your work as a service to God rather than just for making money, rather than just for man even. Yes, you want to keep your clients happy and get the jobs done and tick off the to-do list. And of course you want to make money so that you can be a blessing to others. But it's because you're doing it unto the Lord. So when you say that we're hard workers, it's because we're doing it for God.
100%.
And to honour Him. Yeah.
And that's something that I think that doesn't just go away. Like that goes passed down from years and years when you set the standard. So people who are watching, like, and you're thinking about doing business, or you know, I know there's always people coming up with ideas for, businesses and just random things.
Christian energy drink.
Yeah, Christian energy drink. Some good, some bad, but like there's always people coming up with ideas and right. But they're all coming up with good ideas. But I think what separates, I guess, a successful business from maybe not a successful business might be a little bit of hard work.
Yeah.
A little bit of elbow, like my dad says, a little bit of elbow grease. Doing things that.
Put elbows. Put some
elbow grease. That's what he used to tell me when I was washing his car. Doing things or washing other people's cars. But doing things like, like working that extra, just doing the excellence. Yeah, like Ed said, excellence. Doing too much when you've done too much. Yes. I think that's what Chad Veach says. Like doing too much when you've done too much. Like, and people say, "Oh, you go the extra mile." No, I went extra 3 miles. Like, like doing that more and more and more. Like that's that hard work that is like separates the successful from the not successful. And a lot of times it's like, yes, we obey God. Yes, we do what He says, and 100%. But when you obey God, I always wonder, like, how are you obeying God? So when God tells you to do something, are you obeying Him with excellence? Mm-hmm. So when He says to start that business, are you working your butt off in that business? Because you're obeying Him and doing it for Him, not because of the money that's going to come from the business or the idea or the service or whatever it might be, but are you doing it because you want to obey God the best you can? Or are you doing it, you're just going to obey God and just do what He says. I started the business, now God, you create the money. You create the clients. You create the success. It's like, no, it's like, yes, He will create those things, but He needs you to obey. He needs you to actually put some effort in and elbow grease.
And I think it comes back to integrity as well. Yeah. And if I'm thinking about what drives me or what motivates me, other than the Lord, it is my integrity. So if I've told a client that I'm going to have this to you at this time or this date, then I hold that really closely and I value that, because I don't want to be a person that, they can't trust your word.
Yeah. Oh, your word.
Your client can't trust your word, or And with the ATO, you have a lot of compliance as well. So if you don't meet those deadlines, then you're in trouble. So that's where the pressure comes as well. But if you're a hard worker, then
the pressure's not much.
the pressure's not much.
Yeah.
We love the ATO on.
We love
the ATO on
You
more
guys
than
are the
Sundays.
best.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome. They're watching everything. They're listening to this right now.
100%.
Wait a minute. She's an agent.
Oh no.
An agent for the people.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
for
Bring
the
a
people.
wire.
That's
Bring
right.
a wire.
Yeah. All right, Ed, can you get us back on track, man?
All right. Well, okay. Look, Melissa, was there a specific moment where you felt a calling to business, or did it involve like naturally? Like, what was it like taking that step from, like you said earlier, about working for a firm, then going into self-employment?
Yeah.
What did it look like in those early days? I mean, couldn't have been a small step.
No, it wasn't. And
Massive.
I think it was purely from the point of that my priorities changed. So like I said before, I fell pregnant with Jake, had Jake, I went back to a firm after having Jake, but then after that I went, I had Cooper not long after. From that point is when I didn't want to go back to a firm. So my priorities changed, where I wasn't career driven. And in many of those firms, you have to be like wanting to climb the ranks, climb the ladder, and putting your whole life on hold for that promotion.
Yeah.
So my priorities changed, and I just wanted to be my own boss, basically, and be able to have the flexibility around my kids while they were still young, to be at school sports carnivals, to be available for them if they needed me. And so having my own business really allowed me to have that flexibility. Then as the kids got a little bit older, the business really grew and really took off at the point when my husband Danny was able to quit work in the construction, which all came hand in hand with us getting saved, basically, because he didn't want that lifestyle anymore. He quit his job in construction, so he was home with the kids. So I basically could amp the business up to it.
That's cool.
Next level, to be more full-time. So I can't say I really felt the calling to business in that way. We weren't Christians at that point, but I did feel the motivation to be my own boss, to have my own business, purely around flexibility, and wanting to have something for my kids as well.
I think the big takeaway, though, I know it's like, I wasn't Christian, but at the very least, it's like you weren't just going in blind.
No.
Like you already had like skills that you could rely on. I think that's something important that we should remember, even though we are Christians, we do move in faith, but it's also kind of like, hey, let's be realistic about it.
That's a good point.
To some degree, we should have a level of blind faith, but not to the point where it's just like, okay, I'm just going to step into a completely new career I know nothing about, and God will just take me through it.
That's right, because I gained heaps and heaps of experience working for firms, years of experience, which enabled me to get my own tax agent license. But you're constantly growing and learning as well. So in those early years, yes, I was learning lots. But as my business grew, I was able to grow with those clients. I mean, one of my first clients was a motel in New South Wales that is still a client today.
Whoa.
It's my longest client.
That's
I brought
great.
it to Queensland with us. So,
Let's go.
it's probably the best thing.
What do you think, having your own business, and speaking of stewardship, speaking of like stepping out in faith and stuff like that, what's been your biggest investment?
Cooper. Investing in him for his future, because he's my retirement plan. But seeing, because he's only really came to wanting to be an accountant.
For anyone watching, Cooper is my younger brother, your son, but he's taking the plan is for him to take the business. He's full-time in the business.
He's almost finished his degree. But being able to invest in him because he's got a love for the business. I mean, he won't mind me saying there was a time that he was like, I know this business is mine, but there's, I have to provide for my family. If that means going to work for another firm for a time, then I might have to do that. I said, no, you're not. So I just gave him a pay rise. I can't lose you.
Dude, that's good negotiating.
Investing in him for the future, because I think we always have to be thinking ahead.
100%.
It's not just about today. And he wants to take the business to new levels as well, which is great. I didn't have that drive to do certain things where he does. He's younger. And investing in him to see different things he wants to do as well. So I've got to give him that freedom. But it's taking a step of faith. Constantly in business, you have to take steps of faith.
Yeah.
Not reckless faith. I don't believe. It has to be grounded in God 100%. And you have to hear from God in those steps of faith that you want to take.
What about the recent step of faith that you guys did?
Yeah.
With putting him on full time.
Yeah, there was
and also
in the last year.
In the office. Yeah. Like take us through that and how much of a step, big steps.
Yeah.
But sort of what made you do it, like what sort of how God spoke to you, stuff like that.
Yeah. The key thing I think constantly is being in prayer for your business.
Yes.
Making God center of it. And the God's word says, I had the scripture up before, but I probably can't find it now. I think it's in James. Yeah, in James 1:5 it says, seek God for wisdom in decision making.
Yeah.
And he'll give you generously. He'll give you wisdom generously, but you have to pray for it. You have to ask him for it. And I think constantly having his voice in my ears for when to move, when not to move is a big thing. Cooper started out part-time because that's all I could afford.
Yeah.
But then over a year or two, the workload grew. So the work was there.
Yeah.
But it was me not being able to take that step of faith for finances.
Yeah.
And another thing I want to encourage you as well in is get around other business people.
That's good.
God-fearing Christian business people that have experience as well, which is what I did. There's an amazing lady in our church. She's a lawyer and she's got a hugely successful law practice all over Brisbane. Southeast Queensland, actually. I think she's got a few different offices.
Yep.
And she actually encouraged me massively and she said, do it. She goes, if you've got the workload, do it. Take the step of faith and put him on full time. She said, I started out with just a handful of client files. And she goes, look at what I've got now.
Yeah.
And so that pushed me, put him on full time and haven't looked back. Like the workload has just constantly been coming in. Then the other one was the office.
And I think that's led to that.
100%.
Does it make sense? Yeah, you taking that step made it easier for you to take this next step.
Yes, yes, because you see God move and you're like, do it again, Lord. I know you can do it again. I trust you and my hope is in you.
Yeah.
So then the next one was just before Christmas, an office in Beenleigh that I've been in for 9 years.
That's crazy, 9 years
sold.
in that office. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
And I was working from home for the years before that. So, but I was in Beenleigh for 9 years. Just on a month-to-month rent, month-to-month lease. The owner said, the real estate actually said, we've sold the building. We can't help you anymore. You have to go directly to the new owner. New owner reached out and said, yes, sorry, can you move out ASAP? Because I'm turning the whole building into a college.
Oh my God.
And
that's crazy.
no, I don't want any tenants. So slowly I've seen other tenants moving out. And this was week before Christmas.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to give him another cent in rent, especially while I'm closed over Christmas.
Yeah.
So we packed up, moved out and put everything into storage. I had nowhere to go. And so, of course, the thoughts come in, just go back home, just work from home.
Take that step back.
Take a step back, just go to home. It's safe.
Yeah.
And straight away the Lord spoke to me and said, you take a step back, clients are not going to take you seriously. You're no longer professional if you're working from a bedroom in your home. The growth that you've seen could shrink back.
Yeah.
And so I felt him push me. And all of a sudden this office popped up that hadn't been there for the weeks before when I was looking. And we reached out, got it. It's double the rent what we were paying. But still cheap, on the cheaper end of what is available out there in the market. And so we've taken that step. They've given us a month and a half rent free.
Wow.
And I know God will provide because I trust him.
Yeah, amen.
And even just in these last few weeks we've been in there in January, we've had multiple new clients approach us, like probably 5.
Whoa.
And then a big one just yesterday, a food bank in Rockhampton wants me to take over. As an existing client, he's a plasterer. He's just been nominated the treasurer of this food bank in Rockhampton.
Whoa.
And
Wait, he's a plasterer?
He's a plasterer and they voted him the treasurer.
What?
And he's like, my accountant is taking over
Yeah.
because
Oh,
you
that's
are all
so good.
doing the dodgy and she's coming to fix it up.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy. So that's just God answering and just making a way, and
Yeah.
where you feel like there is no way, he does it.
Absolutely.
it's so good how God does those things.
And you have to have a husband that has a loud voice in your ear.
Yeah.
Because
shout out to Dad.
when
We've had him on.
that all started happening, fear came in, of course, fear and doubt. You're not going to be able to afford this. This is going to make you financially struggling.
Yeah.
Like all these things. How can you afford this when you can't even afford this? Like so many doubts and fears from the enemy. And then Danny's like, no, just do it. Yeah. God's provided before. Look what he did with Cooper full time. He'll do it again.
And dad's sort of that's the dynamics of like marriage as well. Yeah. Like I'm very similar to Dad, where I'll just take a step out not knowing what's on the other side and just like do it, like visionary. Yes. But then Chelsea's, and you're very similar as well, is okay, how do we actually make this happen?
Very analytical.
Yeah, very analytical. Like, okay, well, this isn't actually going to work. Like, I don't know if you know that. And then it's like,
and then you're like, do you know our God though? So.
I'd be a smart aleck, but and then like you also have the like not even just in marriage, but also in teamwork and stuff like that. Like if I look at my, like in my youth team or even in young adults, like I'll have an idea and then I'll be sitting with Chelsea, like for example, young adults, I'll be sitting there with Chelsea and Serena, and they're just like, dude, what are you talking about? I'm like, I have to explain it. and then they're like, okay, well, let's do this, and this, and like help me out with like, analytically putting legs to it. Like, so it's the same thing with you. But would you say, and then you got Cooper, now you're working with a team with Cooper in business. So it's not just you now, it's him and you. How do you find that dynamics work? Obviously mother and son as well. How does that
it's
sort
really
of work?
Easy, actually. We get along really well, which is good. And he's still learning, of course, so he still asks lots of questions. He's my, I don't know the right word anyway, but for example, I am generous. So my pricing is very low.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And because
Ed knows.
Yeah, Cooper's so really tight with money from what I can. He's really tight.
Yeah.
I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. Cooper, I didn't mean that. No, as in, so.
I did.
But he's much more, Mum, you have my full-time wage now. You have a higher rent to pay. You have to up your pricing because we have extra overheads. And that's wisdom. That's smart.
100%. And I know this because, and Ed probably has a similar experience. If you talk to other people about who's your accountant, they'll be like, oh yeah, my accountant's this guy, blah, blah, charges this much, blah, blah. And you're sitting there going, bro, what? Like, this is my accountant, my mum, but she charges this much. Like for example, the couple people that I've referenced to you, they're like, bro, are you serious? This much? Like they're freaking out how much it's costing.
I probably
them.
have friends rates as well.
Yeah, friends as well. Yeah, you help out. But like that's good. Like that probably goes off the back of like another question I want to ask about like reputation and stuff like that. So like integrity in that. So I think someone said like some of the best investments you'll ever make, and I agree with this, is relationships. So like how you treat other people, how you do different things, and almost every relationship is a little bit like a bank account. Like you're investing into that relationship, and then eventually you're going to have to withdraw from that relationship. Maybe you have to ask them to help you with something or whatever. But most of the time you just want to keep investing in it because you never know what's going to happen. But that's not the reason why you do it as a Christian. The reason why we do it as a Christian is because that's what we believe. That's our faith, and we want to treat other people well. But specifically in business, thinking about your reputation, integrity, blah, blah, blah. And we know what the Bible says about making sure that, we don't just act this way in public or with certain people, but we act like this always. We have integrity in whatever we do. We do it unto God, and we also make sure that, the book of Proverbs is the best sort of reference for that. So going into that, and you said that just recently that deal that you had, that new job that's come through, basically is based off of your reputation. Because the guy's like, she's a good accountant, she's trustworthy, she could handle money, she could be a treasurer, right? Or not treasurer, but help you deal with the accounts. And so that's all based off of, reputation, relationship, stuff like that. Have you, knowing your reputation of someone who doesn't do the dodgy or doesn't really accept when people want to do the dodgy, like, I mean,
doesn't cook the books.
I used to sit in your office the whole time, and maybe you say no to something or whatever, and you can hear like, it's like, no, not doing that, or we can't do that, sort of thing. And people ask questions constantly, and they're always trying to, feel a way that they can get around this bill. And so you're constantly dealing with that. have you ever had to maybe, because of your faith, because of your integrity, because of the reputation that you want to uphold within your business and as a Christian in your faith, have you ever had to maybe turn away from certain maybe job offers or things that came up and you sort of
Multiple
just had
times.
to turn your back on it?
Yeah. There's been, on the spectrum from small to large, there's been multiple stories of times like that. There's even examples of someone wanting to claim something. Like you said, I said, no, you can't do that. That's not legal. You can't claim that. And I think it led to that person leaving and finding another accountant. And I've probably got 10 examples of times that's happened, and 8 of them, they've come back to me a year or 2 later. And they'll call me up and they'll say, oh, you might not remember me, but I'm like, I remember you. But I want to come back. Would you take me back? Because of my reputation. And I think you just have to be steadfast. You just have to stay strong and stay aligned to the rules, to the laws, but also to what ethically is right in God's eyes. Because as soon as you take a shortcut, as soon as you allow something, God sees it. And so he's going to be like, I'll just take my hand off that bit. To the extreme of someone that was just really untrustworthy and was doing illegal stuff. I declined it. I actually found out about it and had to write an email withdrawing from being that person's accountant because it was just something that I didn't want my name to. And I've even had comments thrown around recently. Someone got audited and the ATO disallowed it even after appeal after appeal after appeal. And he come back to me and he goes, okay, well, anyway, my wife thinks that you're too honest. He goes, but I told her that, yes, it's annoying and frustrating, but it's in our best interests. And he's not Christian at all. And he said, but my wife told me that I should get rid of you because you're too honest. I thought that was the biggest compliment of all.
Exactly. Oh my God. And it's a testimony to them as well. Like, I'm a Christian. Like I won't backpedal. I'm not bending the rules. Like this is what I believe and this is who I am and this is the God that I follow. And
it's interesting though. I have lots of Christian clients as well. And
maybe they're not always Christian.
No, but I've even had arguments with people. No, I've even had arguments with Christian clients that want to claim their tithes. There's a tax deduction to charities.
That's crazy,
like,
bro.
Dude, you're not in America. It's you can't. First of all, it doesn't allow it. The law doesn't allow it. But second of all, me and Danny have constant conversations about this. If you're tithing,
you're not tithing.
It's not.
It's not
Spiritually, is that the right thing to do? If you're wanting to get a tax deduction back from that,
I don't care what you say. No one can say to anyone like, this is my tithe. Make sure there's a tax deduction
attached to that.
You're not tithing them, bro. You're just donating.
That's right.
And there's no actual obedience and sacrifice in that. Like,
that's right.
Say that to the person who doesn't have a business and who's tithing based off of a fixed income they can't change or whatever it might be, and they're struggling and they're still giving to God. Like, people who say that are just tripping.
So there's lots of people that want you to be a creative accountant and cook the books. Not Ed.
No way.
But you just have to stay strong, stay steadfast, stay true to yourself and true to God. And at the end of the day, God is going to bless you in an abundant measure for being honourable. So it's safe
to say that out of those 10 clients, those 8 that came back, the other 2 are probably gone to jail. Anyway.
Well, they just haven't done their tax return for 20 years.
Exactly. Or just got a massive bill.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about more like money. Like straight up like, I mean, you're an accountant, you deal with money all the time. I mean, I think a lot of the old teaching was like, money is evil. But it's like, no, the love of money. But I mean, money. I don't want to say like, would you say you deal a lot with like having to deal with greed? A lot in accounting.
Yes, a lot.
One of the 7 deadly sins. Yeah. Shout to YA.
That way,
Show wider.
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yep.
And I think you're right. Love of money is the root of all evil.
Yeah.
God wants you to be prosperous.
Yep.
He wants you to have prosperity, but he also wants you to be generous.
Yes.
And when you have a generous heart and you're a blessing, I believe that's when you're fully fulfilling the gifting in business that God's given you.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want to bless your business for you to make more money so you can go on more holidays. He wants to bless your business so you can give more.
Amen.
Your lifestyle should not change according to how much money you have, but rather your giving should change.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dad and you have really been big on me on that because being someone who's in ministry and has a young family, it's very easy for me to look for ways to make more money outside of ministry because ministry you don't make money.
Yeah.
And so being someone who started a small freelance sort of thing, and I do work on the side, it's very easy. It could be very easy for me to fall into greed and just go all in on that.
Yeah.
And there's been temptation, don't get me wrong, to go all in on that. But you and Dad have always pushed me and reminded me that, your calling first is to ministry.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And then everything else will come afterwards.
Yep.
Yeah.
And, the side business or the side hustle is that sort of thing has been a blessing from God's provision.
That's right.
Because of the work that me and my wife do in the ministry.
Yeah.
And so something that, we've been doing is the money that we came through specifically at the end of last year during Christmas, we used that money that came through from the business to, bless our youth team and to, help out with the young adult stuff, to sort of put towards that because, that's what we want to use it for. And I think that's the way it should be. I'm not building.
It also enables, yes, Chelsea works, but it also enables her to be involved in your ministry as well, so that she doesn't have to work full time.
Exactly. Yes.
She can partner with you in ministry, and that helps that as well.
Exactly. That helps a lot. Yeah. So that's really interesting. Speaking of money, as Ed was saying, do you think that obviously the love of money and people fall into that easily? Do you think that? Because you have clients, would you say you have clients across all ages?
Yeah, I would,
Like a bit of a mix.
I do, one that Cooper's been dealing with is a young guy. I think he's only 18, 19.
Yeah.
He's like a car dealer all the way up to,
that's my
elderly.
homie. Yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah. He's all the way up until elderly that's still either in business or receiving a pension from business or something like that. Yeah.
So, what would you say something that sticks out for you with this younger generation when it comes to money? Are they more greedy, or do you notice those sort of things? Or
yes. Do you want me to answer honestly?
Okay, yeah, go.
Do you want people to watch your podcast next time? As long as the mum's not on there.
No, it's speaking to the young adults. Yeah,
100%.
Okay.
The younger generation is more about making a quick buck, minimizing tax, not having to pay their obligations or responsibilities.
Yeah.
I'm even going to throw it out there and say it less generous.
Oh,
yeah. Yep. I see men and women in business that are in their, 40s, 50s, 60s, so generous. Their businesses are thriving. And I would love to see younger people going to them for wisdom and counsel.
Do you think that's just an age thing?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe it's the generation.
Yeah, maybe that 40-year-old business person was the same as that 18-year-old, 19-year-old person.
I don't think so, but maybe.
Yeah, but maybe, you know what I mean?
It might be. I think just from what I see, I don't have a lot of younger Christian business people.
Okay, yeah.
But I see very driven by what they see and materialism as well. So they want to make more money to travel more maybe or to have a better car or I'm not even seeing many people driven to have their own home as much anymore. It's more about materialism. And people think business, and I love what you said before about the online presence. I don't know if you're speaking before we were recording or after, but you're talking about people in business that it's all, this online presence, social media, online businesses and all that kind of stuff. And I'm seeing younger people obviously more involved in that, but to make a quick buck because they just want money in the account to buy more.
Like even when I was doing this side business, I didn't realize I had to, I forgot about tax. And so mum reminded me probably like, just the other day, but like you got to pay tax. Like when it comes tax time, you got to pay.
Yeah.
And so it was a reminder to me. It's like, oh crap.
Yes.
I think is a lack of education as well. Like,
True.
I mean, my mum's an accountant.
Yeah.
But like, I never got taught that in school.
We don't talk.
No, but I never got taught that in school. Like I never got taught the fact that, like tax is a big thing.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I think even like,
I agree. The practicality of business needs to be taught more to the young people. Yeah.
I think in my opinion, like, and maybe I'm someone who even does this myself, like doing side hustles online. Like I think there's a lot of that at the moment. And almost nearly most young guys my age or younger than me, they're probably about 25 and under, sort of have this real hunger to make money online because it's quick and easy. And they don't realize there's like tax and you're running a small business basically. And you have to pay all these different things. So do you think there needs to be more education in that area?
Definitely, And I think because that's why I see so many businesses fail is because of the lack of education. People get into business and get so caught up in the day-to-day running of the business and earning the money and earning the income, forgetting about their obligations. And that's to do with super, tax, employees, all of it. And particularly in the building industry, I've seen a lot of people, tradies, struggle because they go into business earning a huge amount of money because there was a stage there that, tradies were earning so much money. Probably still are, and then it'd come to the end of the financial year, they'd come to see me and be like, what do you mean a $20,000 tax bill? They got used to spending the money, the lifestyle, didn't actually account for tax. So then from the get-go, they're behind because then the next year, they're already behind from last year, let alone keeping on top of the current. So I think there's definitely a need of more education and people just in tax in general because there's so many false things that people believe regarding tax and then they get cranky with the tax agent.
And it's like, bro, like you don't understand. I remember like, go for it.
Well, let's talk about a hard question. I mean, we all know the principle of tithing. Give a tenth to the storehouse.
This is good.
Should a business tithe, Melissa?
100%. And I believe that's truly why our business grew to what it was because it was the very first thing that God spoke to Danny about is that we tithe from what the business earns, but we also tithe from what we draw from the business.
Wow.
I've had multiple conversations with people about this and they've thrown things at me like, but isn't that double tithing? And I'm like, but you can't outgive God.
Exactly.
So I'd rather double tithe than not be generous.
And it's two different incomes.
That's right.
So
for me, that's how I looked at it. And I wanted
like,
God to bless the business. So in order to do that, we tithed from that and then tithed from what we earn. And there was one particular businessman that came to me for counsel and for budgeting help in his early days of business, and it's the first thing I told him. And he grabbed hold of it, and he's been doing it too. And I've just seen his business go from strength to strength.
That's awesome. What do you find? We have a lot of Christian businesses. We have a lot of people who have businesses. And they're Christians. Here at church, and you probably deal with all of them. Being the person who handles most of them, but dealing with a lot of the accounts and the giving with their generosity, like because of how generous they are. They're obviously generous if they're giving to a church, right? Because nowadays people don't really like giving to churches. Or they'll say, if you're giving to the church, it's like, don't do that. That's they're thinking you're going to do some sort of like dodgy
bad investment.
It's a bad investment and stuff like that.
And there are accountants out there that will tell you.
Go into that
Pastor
as well.
Sean is very big on promoting Christian accountants for Christian business. Not just me. There's probably many other Christian accountants out there. I'm not plugging myself. O'Brien Accounting. No, but because of the fact of the advice that they're going to pour into you and to your business. There's Christian accountants out there that'll tell you definitely don't tithe because that's not a tax deduction. And so you're hurting yourself by doing that. And that's going to affect somebody in business if they're not strong in their faith to trust their accountant.
And it could affect, everything with their business, not just their tax, or, it could affect their revenue. It could affect, if they're turning over a profit, because there's a supernatural effect that happens.
That's exactly right.
When you start to, hang with, I think the Bible talks about it all the time, but, associating with unbelievers in a certain way, and doing stuff like that, you're gonna hurt hurt your business eventually.
Right.
Supernatural, spiritual thing that could happen.
Exactly.
Going into that as well, like, so back to the Christian businesses, dealing with Christian people who run businesses, do you think that, or can you, someone who knows them and knows their business, can you pretty much, not even that, 100% of the time, line up their success of their business to their giving?
100%. Yeah. Always.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have valleys, you have mountaintops.
Oh, of course. Like
so
anything.
you can't say just by giving, your business is never going to have a struggle.
Yeah.
That's false teaching.
Yeah.
But when you give and you are generous in your business, then God sees that.
Yeah.
And God takes you through those times.
Yeah.
So if you're experiencing a valley and, times are tough, you can trust in the Lord. It's the first thing Danny says to me. If we're having a moment where debtors aren't paying or bills are getting behind or whatever, the first thing he says to me is, have you tithed?
Yeah.
Did we tithe this week?
Yeah.
Because he knows the power in sowing and reaping.
Yeah.
And sometimes it might be that, you haven't been a good steward. So God's a graceful God. He will always see you where you're at and take you through that.
100%. So then going to also, maybe let's pivot to you dealing with church finances. Ooh. So not into detail or anything, but just in a broad perspective, you handle all the accounts for the church. So any money that comes in or goes out, about, right?
Yeah.
She knows if you haven't been tithing.
Yeah. No. So what was your title? What would your title be then? For the church?
Accountant.
Your church accountant. Okay. Yeah. Not like treasurer or anything.
No. Okay. Josiah's the treasurer.
Okay. Josiah's the treasurer. So you're the church accountant.
Yep.
And like I said, when money's coming in, money's going out, and anything.
Yeah.
So knowing that, obviously, like, there's stories about churches doing the dodgy.
Yeah.
There's stories about churches that are unethical, immoral with finances. It's huge. Name one. You can easily name. You could probably name. No, you can name. You could probably name thousands.
Yes.
And it's, I know it's draft, but thousands. I guarantee you can name thousands of churches who have done immoral things financially. What are the safeguards that are massive within a church?
First, you have
so you don't fall into that.
Massive amount of policies and procedures and controls in place around money. And the first one would be that the senior pastor is not a signatory on the accounts.
Yeah. Whoa.
Pastor Sean, Pastor Sandra, Josiah, Jacinta, they've separated themselves completely from money. Although Josiah's the treasurer, he's not a signatory on any of the accounts. There's controls and processes around money to sign on everything. So it's not even just on me.
Yeah.
My business is outsourced to the church accounts.
So you're not an employee.
So I'm not an employee.
Yeah.
There's degrees of separation, also controls and processes around everything to do with money because you have to be above reproach.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the final one, the big one, is that we're audited every year.
Yeah, I was about to say that. From a non-Christian organisation.
Yeah. Non-Christian organisation.
Yeah.
So they come in twice a year, one for an interim visit around April, and then again for final. They prepare all of our financial reports. So while I do the day-to-day stuff and then collate it all for end of year, they come in and go through it all with a fine-tooth comb. So there is nothing illegal, nothing underhanded. They question everything. They'll question, why did you spend $62 at Bunnings? They look at everything.
Everything.
So there's even controls around the money, the offering that gets collected on a Sunday. There's safeguards around everything because you just want to be held to account, but held, above reproach. So no one can question.
Yeah. And specifically with our church, something that Pastor Sean prides our church on, and I think everyone involved in the church sort of does as well, is how many safeguards there is around finances in our church. And like you said, whether it's tithes and offerings on a Sunday, whether it's auditing, spending during the week, stuff like this, everything, there is a bunch of safeguards. And you're almost like the messenger of that, right? Within the staff and even the volunteers and stuff who want to be involved in certain things.
Yeah.
And so is Erica. She can be really strong as well.
Yeah. Love you, Erica.
Yeah. See this brute? No, joking. Like it's good to have, I think, people as well, like who have strong strength, integrity and have strength in those areas, who are around those things, dealing with money, stuff like that. So don't put anyone, in position who cannot handle, isn't strong enough to handle money or questions, numbers or questions or even information, or anything like that. So having those things, and like I said, our church really prides ourselves on that, because a lot of churches don't have that. They're very willy-nilly with how they handle money and finances, and a lot of times it can come back and bite them in the bum. That's right. Would that be right?
That's right.
And there's so much temptation. There is, like, if you're being honest, there's a lot of temptation in that area. And so I think that's really important to understand is that there's boundaries, policies, there's things in place that are sort of in the way that if anything, anyone does try to do anything, and there's people who have stolen from our church before and done different things, but these things are all been put in place. That's and I think it comes from leadership and comes from maybe experiences in the past who had seen and learned from it, and then we can apply it into the church. So
and it needs to be taken forward into the future as well, because even though, after COVID, online giving ramped up. So the offering in cash that we might collect on a Sunday has dropped significantly. So that helps us from an audit point of view, because they're like happy with that. There's no cash handling. But since COVID, the online giving has ramped up, but we still need to maintain processes and have those controls in place, not get lax on them.
And if people only knew the things that get put in place in the church, then they wouldn't be asking her so many questions or thinking that the church doesn't know what they're doing. But they do, because this is why these things are in place. And
we've been doing it for many years, not just
doing it for so long.
Me, but the church.
The church has been around for over 30 years. So I think it's safe to say that they're doing the right thing. Always been audited from the very beginning. And there's always been safe things in place to help out.
Just on that quickly, because I do hear sometimes regarding giving, people say things like, I'm not giving to this church anymore because I don't like what they do with the money, or I don't know if what they do with the money is right, or, have questions around the way that leadership or even as a church we might be stewarding money. So they're not going to give into that. But if you have faith in God, you're giving without 100%. Strings attached. You're also giving, leaving that to God to deal with. If there is something wrong going on in the church, then you have to give to God without that thought. I just feel really strongly about that, is that you shouldn't be worrying about what they're doing with it, but just know that your posture of your heart is in the right place. And
100%.
Yeah, well, even on the flip side, like, sure, this is a church, of course, generosity, other stuff, giving. It's also a business, and I think a lot of people might struggle to understand, like, yes, it is church, we're Christians, we believe in generosity, we believe in giving to the poor, helping. But there is also, like, the business part of a church. I don't think a lot of people understand. That's like the stuff that you'd see. They're like, hey, we have an electrical bill coming up and we need to pay for it. What are we going to do?
Exactly. Yes, that's right. It still has to function, still has to operate like a business. We have audit fees that we pay like $25,000 a year for. Like, there's so many costs involved in running the business side, the organisation side of it.
Which I stay far away from. Because I have to. No, but also the other side of it as well, like Ed was saying, it is a business. And so the business side of things will be the pastor gets paid a wage, not goes up and down. You know what I mean? Like, as in, you hear stories about pastors making bank, like so much money, and they're not getting paid a wage, but they're getting paid a bunch of money because it's just basically all the money that's coming in is going to them.
Offerings were great this week. So
so they got a new private jet, you know? Like, So, but so that side of thing is like, no, that doesn't happen. Like, pastor gets paid a wage and that's it. There's no way for him to make more money. There's no way for any of the pastors to make more money because they preach a certain message at offering,
that's right.
There's none of that. It's like, this is the business side that people don't know about.
Which just quickly on that is the fact of part of the audit process is they ask for the employees' contracts every year. So it matches up to what they're being paid, matches up to what you said you were going to get paid at the beginning of the year. So there's always the cross and checking to catch out
Exactly.
to make sure.
And that's why it's important to have these things in place.
Accountability.
Accountability exactly in place, because so for all those people asking questions constantly, that things get done properly, and you can trust that.
Right.
Yeah, well, Vision Sunday is coming up at some point this year.
Yeah.
And that's where the churches, I know I've been doing this for a while. They're very open with their finances.
Yeah.
I think you can even go up to Pastor Sean and be like, hey, where's our money going? And he would just tell you.
He'll just tell you.
He'd actually say,
I'll talk to you.
that's Melissa over there. I see her.
But I would also say,
Which is fine.
but as well, same with Pastor Sean and Josiah, and being another pastor, and even Dad as well. Me and Dad cop it. We cop it the hardest from you, because we're family. So no, but as in there's safe things in place that it's there's no way around it. Even though this is my mum, there's no way around it. You don't
get special treatment.
Yeah, there's no special treatment or anything. I know for a fact,
probably harder on you two than anyone else.
Yeah, exactly. But there's for example, we've raised money. I'll raise money. Say if I raise money for for example, at Young Adults, we're raising money for a speaker.
Guest speaker.
Yeah. But we're still raising money for that one speaker, right?
Yeah.
That Ed knows all about.
Yeah.
So we're raising money for this speaker, and people have given to it hundreds of dollars. I can't touch that.
Yeah.
No.
I'm not going to touch that, but I'm saying there's no way I'm touching that. Why? Because those people gave that money for that speaker. Yeah. So there's no way I'm going to go and grab that and go, oh, you know what?
Oh, Mac is wrong.
Macca's run, or I need to pay for this guest speaker, or I need to pay for this. I need to pay for dinner. Coming up. I can take it out of there. No, it's that's used for that, because there's a yes, we're a business, but there's also a spiritual attachment to it of we're a church.
That's right.
So when people give with a specific purpose, they're trusting that you would use that for that specific purpose.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
And so people who question
love offerings,
that. Yeah.
We had Steve Grace recently
at
church.
Yeah.
And the love offering that came through, Pastor Sean had committed to a certain amount with him, saying this is what I'll give you for coming. When we took up the offering, an extra $1,000 came in on top of what he'd committed. Yeah. Pastor Sean didn't just bank that.
Yeah.
That went straight to Steve Grace, because it's designated to that. Yeah. People gave it to wanting it to go to him.
Yeah.
So it has to be followed through.
Yes.
100%.
It's integrity.
Exactly. Yeah. It's integrity. And then doing, God has given you something, what are you going to do? Are you going to steward that correctly?
Yep.
And I think that's where we're going as well. So
yeah, it's good.
That's great. So yes, I think business, and I think Christians in business, I think Christian business, if we can just overarch all of that in that one title, is becoming more and more common, I think. And I think, specifically with the younger generations, a lot of the younger generation, my age and under, and even some, older as well, they want their own businesses, and it's something that's yes, it's a trend, but it's also not. The reason why they want their own business is because they want that independent income,
financial freedom,
freedom, or as those finance bros on Instagram would be passive income. But there's this culture right now, I believe, in the young adults, and I catch up with them on a daily basis, and what I constantly encounter is they're either trying to start some sort of side hustle, or they want some sort of financial freedom, and they want to be able to not have a boss and stuff like that, and so they want to ride that train of man, I want to get somewhere, I have a goal, a vision, and stuff like that. So the reason why we did do this podcast is because we want to speak to that. We want to speak to the culture right now, and the culture right now is a lot of business stuff, a lot of trending, investing and stuff, and a lot of finance stuff. And so the reason why we did this podcast with Pastor Melissa is because we really want to communicate the real thing that comes, the reality that comes with running a business for over 25 years, and also the things that maybe that you maybe should know when it comes to starting a business as a Christian. How do you react to certain things and stuff like that? So thank you for coming on.
That's okay.
I really appreciate it. This is episode 21.
9 plus 10.
9 plus 10.
Yeah,
21.
9 plus 10, 21.
Can I give one last word of encouragement?
Yeah, go for it.
If you feel like God has called you to business, or if He's placed something, a burning on your heart to go into business, then try it. But do not quit everything else to try it. Most successful businesses I see are things that people do, like you said, a side thing while they're working and doing what God's called them to do right now to test the waters. But I encourage you to try it, test it out and see, because there's a G-Men, G-Women book that we do, and it's cool, and it talks about you're better have tried and failed than not to have tried at all.
Yeah.
And it would be stinky to live with the regret of
Never
not
trying.
giving it a go.
Yeah.
So give it a go, but just don't throw all your eggs in one basket unless you know that you've heard from God to do so.
Yeah, exactly. So thanks for that. Thank you for coming on. And we'll see you guys on episode 2022. Oh my gosh, bro. Episode 22. Episode 22.
Hey, smash like.
Smash the like. We're on the road to
So close to 100 followers on Instagram.
100 followers on Instagram.
So
Almost there.
Follow it.
Hey?
If I follow it, will it make a difference?
Oh yeah, of course. I thought you already did.
should.
Anyway,
Yeah,
all good.
oh my gosh.
That's all right.
You have 2 accounts. You got Melissa O'Brien accounting and your personal. Both of them should
Follow it up.
There you go. You've got 100.
Yes. So we're almost at 100 on Instagram. We're
come on.
on the road to 200 on TikTok.
We're past it, bro.
Past 200? No. Okay, on the road to 300 on TikTok.
Come on.
We're on the road to
I think we're close to 150 on YouTube.
close to
Shout out to
150
everyone
on
watching
YouTube.
on YouTube.
Shout out to
Smash
YouTube,
like.
man. Those hopefully start watching the full episodes, like the one right now that you're watching. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. See you on episode 22.
Yeah.
And have a good week. God bless. Thanks.
Later.